coaching. So apologize for my voice, but I will do my best today. We can start with who are we? So Andy, do you mind with the next slides? Again, so we are the JVS, FOC JVS here in Boston. So as you guys know, we provide different services. The employment services is more related in the much higher part of the JVS here in Boston. Also, we provide as a core of our services, financial literacy, and that means live webinars. We provide those different topics, webinars on Thursdays. Basically, some folks are coming, present about retirements, credit, budget. And also we start training ourselves and texting as well in those demands. And that's where at some point, we are going to share more deep information. Of course, we have the one-on-one financial coaching. We support folks to help them to apply for SNAP. And also right now we have the JVS Vita site here. We help folks to file their taxes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This year we do completely in person. So it's a little different that we are going to talk about it today. There's more interactions in online. So that's what we do, and that's where we are. And then is this kind of story of change. I call this, and I'm going to put my things here. So, so today we would like to talk more about how digital integration can help increase our financial coaching. And so let's start with the basic concept around financial coaching. We help our clients to develop some skilled strategies to manage their finances. That is the goal of us. And then we have those concepts about what is financial capability, another concept for CFPB about the financial well-being. So always we have in our mind those two concepts and how we can shape in a way that we can create different tools for provide those services to our clients. And that's one of the reasons I brought those concepts and big concepts. And always in our mind is how we can help clients to feel in control of their finances, how we can provide tools to see if they have any financial breakdown, they can take care of themselves, how we can track their goals, how we can give some tools to kind of design and provide more, create more abilities for that thinking, that when they need to make choices, they do it more wisely. That's kind of the goal that we have. So as everybody know, March 16 came in 2020 and everybody was at home. And everybody was completely changed the way that we work. So we moved very quick to provide our one-on-one in-person services to online to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. And the FOC, JBS FOC team very quick help this situation and adapting these things from these traditional modules or ways to this online experience. And now from there, we provide financial coaching, I believe 99%. When I said 99% online is because one of the coaches, I'm planning to go to the office next week. So that's the reason I don't want to say 100%. But that's very, very real that we provide services one-on-one, in person. So that's one of the things that is helping us to. We got some benefits, I believe, to use when we use this Zoom these teams. We have here a Microsoft offices, so we have teams, the web platforms, all those scenarios and avenues that help us to connect with clients. Um, One of the ways that we connect as well with clients is through our Range Central software that we have installed in our computer. So we don't have phones, so we have this kind of stuff installed in our computer, so we can easily to text clients very quick. So those are these things that we were kind of make changes in over the last 3 years. I remember that I didn't know what it was Zoom, and from there we moved to different things to use these take advantage of these new digital tools. So, and then we have I just want to kind of share with you guys these financial where right now. Okay, so right now I would like to talk about the current challenges, when we have those things, and then I already talked about it, I'm sorry. So now I would like, Andy, can you put the advantages and challenges? I just want to kind of highlight the advantages and challenges in there. Thank you. All right, so some advantage, I believe, that we were facing here, that is more convenience to be in touch with clients from anywhere at any time, more flexibility to develop these learning opportunities for them. It's more kind of interactive. Also, we think that this technology provide interesting tools for folks that can build those skills, like digital tools. That's something that is kind of in our dream, but I will explain a little more about that dream. So it's this technology, we want that it could be help us to scale up our services. We see that the one-on-one, is good, but we think that these webinars that we are going to show you more is helping us to provide more services to more folks, and that's one of the reasons we would like to get more intervention with clients. For sure, this digital integration is increased opportunities for data collections. It's more easy to get analysis about that. As everybody know, lower costs and help more tailoring, might believe that is to meet the specific needs for our clients. Some challenges, yes, we facing some challenges here, and this is basis in some of the report. We compare these notes that we've been facing here with a report that I can share with you guys. It's some international report that talking about experience around digital and financial coaching leadership. So, for example, challenges is some folks that they don't have the infrastructure around smartphones or not good internet. That could be a challenge. And also, some folks that are not savvy, like elderly people that are not savvy about computers or around smartphone, that will be challenging for us to get to that point. So we took in consideration those things, and we start thinking about it, how we can do better our job, how we could provide better services, or different avenues to get them in a way that they can have more information about financial leadership. So here at JBS, you can move to the other slide. Thank you, Andy. here we provide the financial coaching. We do the social media. And this social media means that we redesign our website to make more, and still it's on process. We continue kind of make some changes in our website, but right now it's more interactive, more accessible to our clients to kind of click and get, for example, fact sheets about information about credit. And we have some experience in one of our programs. We use an Instagram page where we provide financial tools. I can put in the chat those things that we did for a specific program that's called the Community College Credit Building Initiative. And we hope, that is what I want to talk about on the dreams. We hope that at some point we can create or we can access to an interesting app, our app, where we can provide services around the budgeting and spending. So these all things I've been stuck for a couple of minutes is helping us to grow here in a way that we would like to share with you guys about these financial webinars, on-demand webinars that Andy was the focus, and he's the creator and the designer on this. So I would like to pass to Andy to continue, and he could maybe share with us more of his experience when he designed and developed this new tool for us, for JVS FOC. Go ahead, Andy.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, so as Adalberto was mentioning, our major service providing is financial coaching, the one-on-one personalized financial coaching, but we also offer financial education as well. So traditionally, it's always been just live webinars Thursdays at 11 a.m. And so it's good because we can get a good group of people in, but we found that not everybody could make that time, and not everybody was engaged, right? And so that time and kind of, engagement, commitment was kind of our struggle there. And so that's where we tried to explore other places to get more financial literacy out there, okay? And so that's where we really looked at what was our true goals were. So we really wanted to increase our financial education across our organization, as well as also in Boston, okay? So we want to use financial education as a tool to motivate at-risk individuals to seek further financial assistance. So our webinars that we presented, in live Zooms, they had always been to educate people first, but also to get them in the door as a lead generation point for full financial coaching. And so, and we'll talk a little bit more about that after. But that's really what we wanted to look for as a passive lead generation tool, one that we didn't have to manage as much, calling people, emailing people as much. We want to get them all in the door through some type of financial education. So we get that service provided, and then we can also transfer them into as full clients as well, okay? Because our data and statistics are mostly based on full financial coaching. And when I say full financial coaching, I mean one-on-one sessions where it's just a personalized coach, sitting down for an hour, hour and a half, however long it may be. We do track financial education, but our funding statistics is more so based on that full financial coaching aspect. And we also wanted to use financial education as kind of a non-contact learning as an alternative, right? Because whether it's somebody who's introverted or somebody who just doesn't have the time, we want to still be able to service them. And we wanted to just expand our service as much as possible to meet the largest scope of audience as possible, okay? And so even if they didn't want to speak to us or meet with us, we could still hopefully help them in some capacity. So what we looked at is two basic things about every client: their need and their wants, right? And so that's common, if there's financial coaches on the call here, we all know that needs versus wants in terms of budgeting. It kind of works the same way in terms of just the motivation to get financial services in general, all right? So we looked at the different matrix of what our clients was looking at. The clients that don't need our help and don't want our help typically they are seen as financially independent. So it's rare that we get those clients, but sometimes we do. We have folks who are on unemployment who are going through our webinars just for, credit for the state in order to keep their unemployment up. And some of those folks are high earners, they're financially independent, they don't need our help, and they don't want our help. And we are perfectly okay with that. Those are clients that we know we don't need to service. That's in the bottom left corner. The top left corner, that's where we move into people who truly need our help, but don't necessarily want it. And that's where we're going to talk about some of our introductory financial education. We try to kind of ease them into the full financial coaching in a way that's more light touch, in a way that's more, accessible to their own needs. And we try to get them to make the decision rather than us make that decision for them. We don't want to just show up and say, you need to get this done, you need to improve these things, because if somebody already doesn't want our help, if we're just trying to push back, they're less and less likely to actually enroll in our full financial coaching. So we want to try to kind of ease our way in there and let it actually be their decision to join our coaching program. And so from there, we look to transfer them to full financial coaching, which are the clients who need our help and truly want our help. And those are the clients, obviously, that's kind of, the bread and butter of what we do. Those are clients who are well motivated and, have things that they need to work on. And so our great financial coaches that we have here in our program, they'll go through multiple sessions with them, help them to improve their credit, budget, whatever it may be. And that's the more individualized basis. From there, once they kind of get all their questions answered and they're more, on a better track to improve those things, that's when they start to transfer down a little bit where they don't need our help, but maybe they still want our help. They still want either that accountability partner or they want someone, just to continue on with so that they don't fall off that wagon. And so from there, we kind of look towards continuing financial education. They may, not need to meet with us one-on-one, but, they can still watch videos, refresh their minds on certain things, learn new things about investments or, other saving tools, retirement, whatever it may be, but it's a little more hands-off. All right. And then from there, it's just, again, another cycle. Eventually, they don't need our help and don't want our help. Hopefully, the ideal place for the entire world is in the bottom left segment, right? That they don't need our help and that they don't want our help because, from there on, everyone would be financially independent. Unfortunately, that's obviously not the case. So that's kind of the aspect that we look at for all of our clients and how we look to really utilize this financial education. Traditionally, we only focused on full financial coaching. We had the financial education, like I said, in the live webinars, but we never really used it as kind of a tool to kind of force them or put people to motivate them into full financial coaching. So that's kind of the matrix that we look at. So from there, the question is what exactly, can we offer for financial education? If we can't offer if we're going to offer more than just the live webinar, what else are we going to offer? And so we came up with this idea to have an on-demand financial education, kind of a learning library. And we're going to actually look at the link in a second. But basically having this library link gives clients access to a full list of topics that we're going to see in a second. There's no barriers to watch or participate. It's available 24/7. So if a client can't meet our live webinars, they can click onto the link at any time, watch any video. Our video courses are generally pretty short. They're about 10 to 15 minutes long. And we cover, So we cover, intro to financial health, spending, saving, credit. We cover the employment process, employer benefits, income taxes, different types of insurances, investing. We cover a lot of different topics on here. And clients can either watch, just one at a time if they have 10 minutes of their time, or we've had clients as well who've gone through the entire course, right? And they've gone through everything. And so some of these topics like spending, we have that full live webinar, which takes an hour. And so this is kind of a crash course and you'll get the same exact information, maybe a few less examples, but it's condensed into about 10, 15 minutes long. Because that's another thing that we're aware of, the attention span and just the kind of the motivation to stick with finances can be hard for people just starting out. It may not be hard for us because it's something that we're motivated in and we're interested in, But if we put ourselves in the shoes of others who may be struggling with finances and they just want to ignore everything about money, that can be hard. So that's why we try to keep it a little bit shorter and try to get more people in the door that way. Okay. We also have a few other resources on the page. So clients can sign up for individual financial coaching consultations right away. So you can see here, they can schedule a call with us. That way we always have that lead generation available. Yes, this is a resource for them to use on their own, but we also have that option. If they want to talk to a financial coach, they can do so right away. Whether it's, it's finally time for me to talk to a coach and get this done, or if it's just, I have a question about the course, they mentioned something about a credit score. I'm not fully understanding what that is. Can I just get further clarification? So they can use us to their own, for whatever they need as well. We also offer a few statistics and info on what financial freedom is. So if somebody comes onto this page, they won't be fully lost about what exactly there is to do and what exactly that path looks like. And there's also a couple cool self-assessments. So we have one called Assess My Own Finances, and it will basically go through a series of 15 questions, and it asks them, a few questions about their personal situation, whether they're employed, whether they're receiving certain benefits, whether they have had collections before, things like this. And we'll talk about that in a second, about how we use that to our advantage and how clients can use that. And then we also have another self-assessment, which is called Test My Knowledge. And that's basically for someone who may be just starting out. And again, it's only 15 questions, but it covers almost all the topics that we saw on the page, so that, it'll ask like, what is a prime credit score? And so it's not really used as a method to kind of quiz people and try to get them to say, I did good or I did bad, but it's more of an introduction to the financial health world and trying to see what they need to work on most, what maybe they don't need to spend as much time to work on. And as well, hopefully it'll tell the coach who that client is working with, what they can focus on in those coaching sessions. And again, we'll talk about that in a second, about how that looks. So let's look at the link real quick. So bear with me. Let me just share my screen again to the link. Okay. You guys can see it okay? Perfect. Okay. So this is what the link looks like. It's completely live, so anybody can access this. It's just a link tree. So it's free for us to access these and to input all of our links. And so, like I said, we have our scheduling call. We do most of our links through Microsoft Forms. So we have some statistics here about, we also use Canva, some statistics about, just financial health by the numbers and what the FOC looks like. So it kind of gives clients a better idea of what to expect. In terms of the actual courses, again, they're through Microsoft Forms. Okay, so we know it's not the best financial or the best education platform out there. However, it's free and it's easily accessible for us, and it's easy to use for us. This is the first iteration of this kind of on-demand webinars for our program, so it might not be perfect. But again, it's the first iteration, so we're just looking to improve it as much as possible. So a client would click on it and they would just put their first name, right, and their last name. And then for us, what's important for us to track is if they're a JVS client or a mass hire client. Those are the two types of client types that we already have their information. So if they click that, it brings them right into the video, because we don't need to ask them more about themselves, because we already have that information stored. If they're neither, and let's say it's somebody from across the country and they just wanted to access the video, they would put neither, and then we would ask them, how did they hear about us? And then what is their email? That way we can actually contact them and we have a way to follow up and track those leads. But let's say for this example, I'm a JVS client. From there, they can just watch the video. Okay, so you would just click play and it will go through me. It's me actually playing. But I won't bore you with me talking throughout the whole webinar, but you can see that we go through different topics, all the different pillars. In this example, it's the intro to financial health. So we'll talk about, the 5 pillars that we talk about for financial well-being. And it goes through quite a bit. and it lasts about 10 minutes, right? And so from there, they would click submit. And then we, as the program from FOC, we would get that response. So I don't have my email up right now, but it would come through as an email to me and say, somebody just submitted a response for your Introduction to Financial Health webinar. And so we would get notified that somebody completed it. I could pull it up and I could see their response. I would be able to see their name, their contact if they weren't one of our clients, and we could see that they completed it. So if it's not one of our clients already, we would be able to reach out to them. And that would be kind of our contact point to say, we realize you're looking at your financial education and you're valuing it. That's great. How can we help you better with financial coaching? If they're still not ready to go into financial coaching, that's perfectly fine. Maybe they just wanted to get more information. That's absolutely okay with us. But it is a good kind of conversation starter to get them in the door for full financial coaching. And that is kind of where our lead generation is for that. Let me go back to the slides. So a few proven benefits that we've had. Is my screen back? Can you see it okay? Okay. Yeah. So a few proven benefits that we've had. So the first one is that prospective clients can use self-assessments on their own to gauge their need for FOC. Okay. And so an example for this, these are all real examples that we've seen. Okay. So for this, a client knows the FOC is available to them, but they're hesitant to enroll in any services, right? So like I mentioned earlier, they might not want to go into the full financial coaching. So the client can check out to see how much they already know by taking a self-assessment, and they realize maybe there is a lot more that they could learn and they would benefit from speaking with a financial coach. So that's a way that we get that lead in. It just gets them in the door without having to talk to us first. And then they're going to say, you know what, I think I actually do need full financial coaching. And then at that point, they reach out to us. The next way, clients can use courses to learn more about topics not covered in a coaching session. So our coaching sessions, yes, we will answer any questions that people will ask us. However, not every client will ask those questions. They might not feel comfortable asking, or maybe, they just weren't clear on a certain topic and they wanted to learn more. So an example that I've had, a client and a coach discusses extra savings available, and the client wants to speak with a financial advisor about investing more, but doesn't know where to begin. So the client can watch our investing course to get a better foundation for that process. So as you all know, we're not financial advisors, so we can't advise on where, clients can allocate their investments. However, we do educate them on the investment process. So as to what certain investments are, the process as to reaching out to a financial advisor. So maybe if a client isn't comfortable talking with a coach about that, they can click on our investing course to learn more about that. And it just kind of gives them that more knowledge, and it builds that financial education piece. The next way is clients can refresh themselves on what a coach already discussed. And I had this the other day with a client. And so a client met with a coach about 6 months ago. This was my client, and they recently saw their credit drop and they weren't sure why. And so they didn't have time really to kind of set up a coaching session because they're working full time. They didn't really have that time to meet with me. So they emailed me and they said, I watched the credit course to remind myself about what was affecting my credit. And they said, I forgot that, I think hers was her utilization rate that was affecting her credit score. And so she said, I forgot that I had to keep my balances below 30% or wherever it was before. And she said, thank you so much for sharing that link, because it reminded me of what I needed to do. So that's an example of, us being able to help them as coaches without even having to talk to them first, right? It's that resource that we can passively help people. Yes, we use it as a lead generation, but we can also use it as a passive way to improve our current clients' financial situation as well. The fourth way that we saw, coaches can use self-assessments prior to or during a first coaching session to get a better gauge of their client's basic situation and what to focus on more. So that self-assessment I kind of briefly talked about, whether they're employed, whether their credit is okay. It asked them different questions about those things, whether they've had collections. So an example is when reviewing a client's self-assessment, the coach finds that the client has no self-reported issues with credit, but has trouble spending more than they make. So the coach decides that they should probably focus more of the session towards addressing that budget. So, whether they're obviously going to go through the credit together at some point anyways, but going through that quick self-assessment, the coach can actually look at it and say, let's probably focus more of our time on that budget because that seems to be the issue that they're having. The client might not come out and say it because they might not know all the different issues that are going on with them. They might think it's their credit, where in reality, it might be a factor of spending too much on a certain thing. And so that's where it can help our coaches to kind of focus the time a little bit better. And the last way is coaches can use the videos as a resource when there's a language barrier. And so our videos, I'll read the example first. So a coach is trying to explain what credit is and why it's important to an immigrant who recently moved to the US and just got a new job. Very common in our organization, in our department. So the coach then pulls up the credit course and enables the subtitles translated into the client's first language, and they can watch the course together to ensure the client better understands it. And so I will show you on the website right here. Let me see. I will show you that how to actually. So if you're actually in one of the courses and you begin it, you can put your name, JVS client, and you start the video. We are able to actually put on subtitles, and we can actually change the language as well. So if someone, if we have other native speakers, right? We can play it.
Empowerment coach at JVS within the FOC.
The language will be spoken in English because it's my voice, but they can see the subtitles in whatever language they have. We have 30 of the most common languages in the world, as well as also some of the most common languages spoken around Boston. So they can use that either on their own or also within the coaching session so that they can follow along and maybe better understand the coach. Because sometimes, working with other people where a language is a barrier, they will kind of nod their head and say, yes, I understand, where sometimes they may not actually. And so this can be as a benefit because they can actually read along and hopefully see visually and not just hear it as well. But let me just go back. I'm sorry to keep flip-flopping between them. And so those are our major examples of how we use them. We understand, again, this is our first iteration of this, so it's not perfect. So some of the adaptations that we hope to see in the future, again, come with their own obstacles. So we're gonna hopefully look towards even shorter bits of info. There's some great banks out there and some great, resources where it's just like 2-minute videos and you can see really quick about what a secured credit card is. So that would be great. Those would be really cool to have really even shorter. But again, it's even more condensed info. And so we would have to have clients click on even more links. So there's a pro and con to each of these things. We hope to have more graphically appealing videos. But from there, I have my limits as a video creator. And so from there, you might have to outsource video creation, editing, things like that. We hope to have more interactive website. But again, we've had our own struggles with that internally because JVS would have to build it out on their own. The FOC doesn't have control over the entire website of the, of JVS. And so that might also lead to more expensive sites as well. And then from there, where this could really benefit is if you have frequent traffic, and that would give you consistent results. And that would come in the form of, search engine optimization, high traffic websites, things like that. Because for us, our struggle is getting this website out to our clients and our leads. And the only way we currently do that is by word of mouth and, by sending it via email, because our website is honestly it doesn't have a lot of traffic, to be honest. And so that is a struggle with us, is getting people onto the website. Once people are on the website and once people hear about our financial coaching, the conversion is extremely high, right? Because people will come into it and they will see the importance. But that first step of getting them in the door, that's our struggle right now. And then something else we played a little bit with is courses with quizzes. and maybe credits in the future for, unemployment, things like that. But however, that takes more time for clients. And we've tested this out with certain financial coaches, and we've tried to have quizzes, that follow up those videos that we saw. And so it took a little bit more time, and it also kind of waned on the client's interest a little bit, because they might have felt that they were getting quizzed on this stuff. And, we don't want a client to ever feel that they don't know an answer, right? Because that's just going to kind of put them off more with our financial coaching. So we wanted to kind of keep it more just, a conversation starter and a way to kind of educate people without needing to kind of ask them, do you understand? And so that's kind of a few of our adaptations that we'd look to in the future, but they also come with their obstacles as well. So with that, I apologize, I could talk all day. But I from there, again, this is our first iteration of this, so please ask as many questions, as much feedback as you guys have. We would welcome.
No, thank you, Andy, for sharing your experience. So yeah, we are still struggling for tracking all those folks that watch our webinars. We were thinking that it could be integrated with our Canvas learning process here at JBS, or we were thinking about how we can integrate, does that link when folks start watching the video is going to immediately notifies the Salesforce, but that's a dream. That's another level of technology. Right now we are doing more basic things as you guys. So what we did here is kind of very with our hands. We don't use to, the tool that we have has some limit in a way that we want to provide better services and more sophisticated tools to our clients. And one of the things I want to kind of highlight as well is that that part the Andy explained about the quizzes for us was very important, but as Andy explained, we kind of take off a little bit, and right now we are texting that was not looking good, but hopefully at some point we can come back, because everything behind of the design and develop is always kind of, we were thinking always in this kind of 4-8 learning sequences that is talking about the anchor, the add, the apply, the away, those kind of 4 things that we try always to bring in our coaching sessions. And that, which to me is very important, because that's the way that folks can start testing then if they are more knowledgeable compared when they started at the beginning of the video. But again, this is texting as is the first thing that we've done in the last couple 12 months. We are very excited. We were continuing improving these new tools, and I think one of the conclusions that we can bring to this chart is digital integration can help increase access to the financial coaching for sure, making it more convenient for folks and more affordable for our clients to get better information to improve their skills. And yeah, absolutely, it comes with challenges, it came with some benefits, but as much we could, we try to bring better opportunities, better ways to our clients to understand more what's going on with financial education and how they can improve their abilities for gain this financial well-being. That's kind of the idea. Yeah, so we are happy to hear from you any questions and feedback, because we are in this process as well.
Thank you both. That was awesome. I'm so happy everyone's kind of had a chance to hear about it now, because Adalberto had spoken to me about this some weeks back. So I was like, okay, other people need to kind of see what y'all are doing and how to get some juices flowing on how to make this more accessible. But yeah, of course, with the barriers in mind, I have a couple questions, but there are some questions and comments in the chat. Maybe I'll look at the chat first, and then if there's time, I can ask mine. But the very first question was from Scott, and he asked, what's the benefit of Microsoft Classroom over Google Classroom? If any.
And about for me, we have Teams. So we have to. It's easier for us to use Microsoft Office, and it's more accessible. I see when we. It's very interesting, your question, and very, very interesting. And I'm glad that you brought, because when we were in the process of this program, it's called the Community College Credit Building Initiative, like maybe 18 months ago, and we brought the idea of those videos for the students because they are youth and they're more accessible for watch videos. We were thinking, okay, let's do it with Google Classes, and I found a little tricky. Kind of, it's no more interactive, it's less interactive, I believe. And then we found out that it could be done another good things in Microsoft Forms. When we discover the Microsoft Forms allow us to embed a video, we thought, oh my God, that is the dream, because everything is going to be there, the narrative, the questions, and also the video. And also the Google, I believe you need to kind of register, you need to be in a class. So it will be more challenging for folks to access very quick to the to the videos through Google versus to the Microsoft. I think that's what I was thinking by then, or we were thinking by then. I don't know if you, Andy, have any experience with another platforms like Google's.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many better LMSs out there than Microsoft and Google, but the two biggest benefits of those two are that they're free, and like Alberto mentioned, Microsoft is just what our whole organization runs on. So we have Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Office, and everything. That's what we run through. So it was just kind of easiest for us to use Forms. So that's the only reason why we used it. But I'm sure, if you have better integrations internally with other LMSs, I would go for that for sure.
Yeah, we were considering here the JVS, but it's called the Canva, different the Canva. Yeah, Canvas. Thank you, Canvas. So, but has been a conversation how we can put our information, our videos in that, and how we could integrate this with Salesforce, because we really want to kind of tracking how many folks watch the videos. So again, it's in process.
And on the videos, that was a big hit, obviously. And Jess was wondering what the service was that you all used to provide that, the one that allowed the subtitles. Was it the Canva? And then like once you put it on like the YouTube format, or?
Yeah, that's straight through YouTube. So in order to record, we record through Microsoft Stream. Again, it's through the Microsoft Cloud. But basically the process is I record on Microsoft Stream, download it to the computer, and then, I mean, you probably don't even have to use Microsoft, but you just download the video file onto your computer. We uploaded it to YouTube. From YouTube, you can select your subtitles, and then you can translate those subtitles however you want. So, I mean, technically, if you have any type of video recorder on your computer and a YouTube account, you can create them. You can just upload whatever video file it is to YouTube, and then we just embed the YouTube link into the Microsoft Forms.
And that's one of the interesting questions. That's we want to share what happened. So Andy recorded and then we found out that the way that the subtitles came in YouTube was not the best way and was not completely access to those translations. So he went back, check very quick, very deep the script. Well, you can tell better.
Yeah, I mean, so if anybody's ever made a YouTube video before, basically you can auto translate the subtitles and they'll auto populate. The spelling in them is pretty rough, so you just have to kind of take the time to go through the videos, you know, capitalize, put periods in, change some words around. Our videos were about 10 to 15 minutes long, just to give you an idea. It took alone probably about an hour at least to go through each video to edit the subtitles, just because you have to go through 15 minutes worth of typing up those different the different punctuations and all that stuff. You technically don't need to do it, but it looks cleaner, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
It helps with the translation.
And that's what, you know, I believe India has been recorded maybe 2 or 3 times so far, those videos, because, you know, we did the first time with the CCBI, then moved to with the templates with JBS, and then we have to record it. So it's been a lot of work in the develop part, the design and the develop part.
That's why if I had a recommendation for anybody else, if they were going to do this, make the videos even shorter, because if you have to redo the videos, it's a lot easier. Because like I said, like we got, you know, I had finished 10 videos by a certain time, or 8 videos, and then we realized there was an error on one of the slides. So then you have to go back and redo all of them, which, you know, it's human error sometimes, but it would make it easier if it was shorter, for sure.
Good tip. Chris asked, I don't know how closely y'all are tracking so far, but Chris from Genesis Center asked if you knew what percentage of people are using the modules. Sorry, the percentage of people that are using the modules if they're new clients versus existing clients, and where you're seeing more success.
It's a very good question. So we just kind of rolled this out probably about a month ago. And so, I mean, we had played around with it, but we didn't really scale it out much. And we still haven't really. And so it's not embedded in our kind of financial coaching process just yet across the board. So we're still kind of trying to play around with it a little bit. But we've got close to about 50 views so far for the website. I would say, you know, we've had a handful of current clients. We've had a good amount of financial coaches using them in the webinar, in the financial coaching sessions. So they'll start, you know, their coaching session, watching the video together with a client. That's one way. Like I said, some of those examples in the slides, I've had clients who reached out to me and said they watched it on their own. And then we haven't had too many from outside the organization watching it. So it's been mostly internal so far.
Yeah, so one of the things, one of the ways that we testing is how folks react about when they watch videos. So that was one of the reasons that we kind of asked. Actually, Joe's here, another colleague here. He and the other coach are kind of embedded and make the video to watch in the coaching session, something that is not completely efficient because it's kind of repeating information, the video, and also when they talking in one-on-one, but we just texting right now what is their reactions about the videos, because we don't know when folks watch by themselves, we don't know what is the reaction. So we kind of testing to figure out if it's something that we can get any feedback from them to make sure that in the next time that we develop those, you know, redesign those tools, we can kind of improve anything that we kind of want to make sure that it's better.
Great.
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of copy here some stuff. Let me show you. So in the chat. So let me explain you what is put it there. So this is a report from the for the Organization for Economic Operations and Development, that's talking related and only focused in international network of financial education. That's very interesting report, came in 2021, January 2021. It's not too long, and they talk about how financial literacy across the world is implemented in in these interactions with clients. So interesting examples, how another countries like, for example, Japan and Spain use the financial literacy to improve the connections with clients. So I just want to share with you that those ideas came from us, but as well has been supported by a report that had been studied a couple of years ago. And also you can see our website, how it's being designed right now, and an example how we can kind of create small tips when we use our Instagram page for that particular program that we had with the Community College Credit Building Initiative. Yes, one example that you can see through those websites.
Thank you. I'll copy these and I'll share them out to everybody when we're done here. So just one of the questions I had, I know that this is I know this has taken you quite a bit to put together. And is there a particular funding source that you got specifically to do this, or has it just been like a mashup of just, existing funds that you already have, and just were you just tag teaming the effort, or did you have a consultant come in, or you just kind of used your existing skills to put all this together?
We use our existing skills. I got training a couple of years ago about designs, programs and this kind of stuff. So we try as much as we can bring those concepts here, make sure that each slide have those particular elements that can provide a good learning experience for adults. That was an idea from this particular program that we kind of brought to the entire FOC, and hope we can expand this and scale up to all the JVS clients. Our goal is that every JVS clients at some point in their life with JVS, when I say it's because they enroll in programs, stay with us for 8 weeks, 12 weeks, or for a year. At least in that particular time, they will have an experience to watch at least one webinar, the 50 minutes. That's our goal. That each, for each individual, they can have an opportunity and start kind of thinking about it, why financial education is so important for them. We don't have a specific grant to support this initiative. We just play with the times. We reduce times from other part of our jobs to make sure that this kind of project came up, and we would love to improve more, so that's what we're looking for in the next step, for more for some fundraising to help us to build. As we show you before, our kind of dream is gonna create an app where we can integrate it. So many tools, so many information, and people can have access very quick in that particular app. We use apps, we share names of apps with clients, but it would be interesting to have our own.
Your own, yep. So that being said, do you have any words of wisdom, or like maybe a first step for the other FOCs on the call that maybe want to try to start doing something similar?
I would say try to figure out what your goal is first, because we kind of tinkered between two different goals: financial education and also lead generation. And so we kind of found that, the lead generation wasn't working so much for us. when we first started. So we just have to make more iterations and just try to stick to that goal. You know, if that's still our goal in the end, we just kind of have to adjust as to what we use it for and how we use it. If it's not going to work so much in the coaching sessions, that's fine. We just have to adjust a little bit and just kind of sticking with that. Finding out if you have the traffic to kind of use that for lead generation. Like I said, our website is not built for this traffic. Meaning oppositely, we don't have any traffic.
Yeah.
And so if folks do have that, if they do have that capacity and they have a high traffic website or a high traffic, you know, in-person site where people can, you know, we've had that in our lobby. We have QR codes that people can scan to get onto that. So high traffic, not just online, but in person as well. If you have that available to you, I would absolutely go for this and just try to kind of use that to your advantage. But if you don't have any traffic at all, you're going to be fighting that battle at the same exact time, because what good is the product if nobody can access it?
So what
Yeah.
Andy mentioned is that I can maybe, I don't know, show you. This is the 2 TVs that we have in our lobby right now. So we create a PowerPoint presentation. He created a PowerPoint presentation slides, like kind of rotated over an hour, where we kind of put it there information about tips, but as well, each slide have the QR code, so folks can scan the QR code and have access immediately to have an opportunity to book an appointment with the coach for 50 minutes. And that's what we try to see how we can increase our traffic. But this is was made it more focus for the Vita site. So right now that's just only displaying the time that the Vita site is open. Here it is on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 8. So we were thinking, oh, it would be interesting for folks while they are waiting for do the taxes, they had some experience to read some slides that can make them to thinking about it, about savings and credit or some, more financial topics. And, as Andy said, we create some things, we design some stuff, and those brought us to put in another part of the program or share with another part of the organization. So we never know how it's going to end these PowerPoints. Maybe it's going to be rotated all the time in our TVs from now on. We don't know.
Awesome. I wanted to just open up the floor a little bit and maybe put a couple people on the spotlight if it's okay, but if not, I understand. I'm just reading through the comments now. I saw Jennifer Codis, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Amos House is getting ready to launch an online platform. So I don't know if you wanted to share a little bit about that. And then maybe I see Alan Gentles on the call from the Center for Working Families, also in Boston. And they've had a lot of great success with a light touch approach to financial coaching too. So I don't know if this presentation has maybe added some ideas to what you're already thinking about in your sites, or if you wanted to share a little bit more about next steps.
Yeah, sure. I can jump in. I'm Jen with Amos House in Providence, Rhode Island. So yeah, thank you for this presentation. It's definitely inspiring. I think one of our financial coaches, Melvin, is on the call as well. So I think we'll definitely chat afterwards. And I think, we've added a digital literacy instructor. So I think that tie-in is really nice for us to kind of think about how we can offer this and support it, because in the past, I think there's sort of been this mindset or barrier that we felt like people would struggle to do something like this independently. But we had met with Washington Trust Bank, I think going back a year or so, and they had sort of come up with this platform in partnership with Bonsai, and we had looked at it then. Now we revisited it and sort of looked at identifying certain modules that we can kind of customize, and we've tied it to a financial incentive program. So we work with people coming in from the community. We work with, we have housing programs. So what we're really kind of looking to do with it is first engage people who are in what we call our phase 2 housing, which means they've kind of come to us initially maybe being homeless, come through a shelter program, and they're now, in a place where they're a bit more stable, most likely working, if not having benefits, but kind of living in this longer term transitional housing where some people might be with us for 3 or 4 years and then move on to their own apartment or get a housing voucher. And so, it's a group of people who I think can definitely benefit from working on those goals. They have sort of a manageable rent situation with us. And so we're kind of just looking for ways to get them re-excited about financial. A few years ago, I think we did a better job with it. And we've kind of been, I guess, all thrown off track in the last 3 years. So we're really tying it to some savings incentive programs, tying it to the online site where sort of modules will earn them rewards by completing them. Similar topics, we've kind of pulled out savings, credit building, some information about insurance, and but I think the key kind of savings credit, I want to say there's one more that I'm blanking on, but they kind of can have the option to opt into any pieces of this program, as well as, it's tied to the meeting with the financial coach as well. So looking forward to rolling that out, probably introducing it to that group next week, and see how it goes and see if it kind of increases participation with us.
Awesome. Melvin, I don't know if you wanted to add anything, or could also kick it to Alan.
My supervisor Jen said is basically what we're trying to put together. We're organizing the platform and handy paperwork to give to people, changing up some schedule myself to be able to account for people who comes after work, like say 5 to about 7, having that availability to meet with them either over the phone, through video, and just like she said, engaging them back to thinking about financials, thinking about how they can get themselves out of debt, maintain, because they're about ready for the next phase to move independently. Are they prepared for it? Asking those questions now while they have these social protection to allow them to get to that means. So we're working on that, and I can't wait to see how that rolls in later this spring and into the summer.
Yeah, likewise, please keep us posted. Maybe y'all can present for our next series and let us know how that's been going for you.
Okay.
Alan, do you want to share a little bit about the light touch approach on your end?
Sure, certainly. Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Adalberto, for that presentation, and you, Andy, as well. Got some great ideas from this video library. Adalberto, you and I almost speak almost weekly. You'd never reveal that to me.
Oh,
Goodness.
yeah, no, we did. I did.
Wow, how did I miss
Yeah.
that? That really sounds great. Congratulations.
We need to talk.
Yes, we will.
We need to talk, and we need to meet in person
Yes.
as well.
Great. So we, a couple years ago, we actually integrated a light touch financial coaching with 2 of our in-house bridge career programs. And one of those is a bridge to culinary training, and the other, which we actually rolled out last year, the latter part of last year, with the tremendous help of Silvana and Emily. A bridge to green jobs, focus on residential weatherization. So the light touch, we call it FCU. So and what it is, it enables each of these individuals who are in these 2 bridge programs to have a one-time 30-minute sit down with one of our permanent financial coaches to review their credit report, get some advice on what they can do to address any issues on the credit report, and or some suggestions and recommendations that they become regular clients and engage in our long-term intensive financial coaching. It also enables us then during the FCU process conversation to inform participant of some public benefits that they they could perhaps consider applying for to further supplement their income as they engage in their job search. This whole FCU process actually began several years ago when I integrated it with the VITA program, and that has been an ongoing success, and it has been scaled actually, where quite a number of the Boston Tax Help Coalition VITA sites across the city have now integrated the financial checkup with the VITA program. The coaches find it to be really a tremendous entry point for those individuals that say yes at that moment in time, but also it provides the coaches as well as the individual the opportunity to check back in at some point in time. And what we're finding is a number of folks, once they go out, they get a job after this brief session, they then will call back or send an email to the coach and say, well, I have a question about the situation, or I'm now ready to engage in regular financial coaching. So if anyone has any questions, I'll be more than happy to address it. I see Jennifer has her hands up.
I don't see the hand. Y'all are welcome to unmute also and just speak freely. In the meantime, Scott, I don't know if you wanted to come off mute, or I'm happy to just read your question, but and I know maybe that's a broader question, not specifically to CWF, but still go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just read it. It seems like you have a lot of freedom to publish content. After browsing the Mass Hire website, how do you deal with gatekeeping / bureaucratic workflow delays? Perhaps from JBS execs, IT, employer partners, partner agencies like VITA, etc. For instance, like at our organization, if FOC wanted to publish anything on Instagram, it has to go through like several people for approval. So I'm wondering how you deal with things like that.
Well, I want to kind of mention that this CCBI program is not through well, we did with Instagram, but this is related with a program that is internally we have with United Way, and yeah.
So like the social media, yeah, we have to go through somebody
to
submit things, yeah. But that's why we used the link tree, and it's not directly through our website, is because it allowed us to do it right away. And as you mentioned, the bureaucratic process, it takes forever. And so that's why we wanted to just roll it out and see how it works. So that's why we just used whatever free applications we had. You're right, there's no gatekeeping. So, it's something we mentioned to IT about, not a paywall, but just, a client, I don't know the IT word for it, but basically when you can lock content, just so certain people can view it, so it's not out there, so anybody could kind of copyright it. There came to a point where we just said, forget that. We just have to do it anyways, because it would just take too long. Because IT has their own issues that they're trying to work on for the whole organization. Adalberto can go on for days about the processes of getting things approved through his bosses. And so that's why we just went out and did it on our own. So that's why we found Linktree, which is free, did it through Microsoft Forms, again, free. And the IT for us was just extremely simple for those two programs. But then everything else, we're trying to integrate it into our website. And I can't even imagine how long that's going to take. But that is a process we're trying to take. But the fact is that we didn't have to wait for that first. We put the product out there, and that way we can show them it's ready to go. We just need it implemented and just integrated more. So
sometimes I don't know how I can still in my job right now, because it's been a couple of situations where I kind of cross the line. But so, as you said, I really want things to be done, and when I kind of have to, I remember that internally I needed to kind of approve for some stuff, and sometimes I do my best to do it. But the Instagram tips we just created. I remember that we created with an intern here. We were thinking that was a very interesting way to share tips with students, and also we had a Facebook. But I went through, and yeah, now that you mentioned that, I will kind of make more precautions next time for asking what is the next step for to get those approvals.
Well, for us, because our program is actually a program of the city of Boston, in itself should tell you, we have to go through the bureaucratic process. So IT has to be consulted, and they have to okay anything that we decide that we'd like to put out, in the cloud, so to speak. So it may seem difficult, but we have figured out a way how to definitely prepare IT for what it is we're attempting to do before we get it done, and then package it and have them review it. So yeah, that process is there. One of the things I want to mention though is that we've been rather successful with our other funding partner, which is United Way, where we have a link that is shared with the United Way for folks who want to, say, schedule a one-on-one, kind of a 30-minute consultation with our coach. So we use Calendly, which is a software that United Way actually provided access to the FOCs in their network. So I just want to kind of give a shout out to that. We're finding that the number of individuals who are accessing that link and scheduling themselves for the one-on-one with the coach of the day, and I have 4 financial coaches. So each of them are assigned one day of the week to be coach of the day. So the individual schedule themselves on a calendar. They don't know who the coach is that they will be meeting with. And that's purposely done that way, obviously, because it would be more kind of complicated to try to highlight one coach by name and by face. So that is going well. And for those of you who might be part of the United Way network, I would suggest that if you're not utilizing that tool, maybe you may want to consider doing so.
Thanks, Alan. Anyone else have any comments, questions? Okay. All right, so I think we can start our lunches early. I don't know, Adalberto, if you had anything. I know you just came off mute, but yeah, thank you, Adalberto. Thank you, Andy. Also Jennifer and Alan for weighing in and sharing your different approaches. Sorry, it is almost lunchtime, Lord. But yeah, thank you everybody who participated and listened in. We will wrap this recording up and we'll try to send it in a timely manner, hopefully in the next couple of days, and I'll share some of the links that Adalberto had shared. But that one's at 12 p.m. Just 12 to 1. It's like a lunch and learn. And then the last one of the series is on April 13th from 10 to 11:30. So I'll send out some reminders. Hopefully we'll see you all there too. But yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.